In this video, I will show you how to navigate into the 3D view. So first of all, it's really important to be comfortable with this concept. And I really recommend you to be aware of what will happen here. So first thing we will do, we will remove all of these objects by selecting them and remove them with the delete key. And I will add with Shift A like add, I will add a mesh monkey. Monkey, it's you can see it's Suzanne here, and it's an object to make some experiments in Blender. It's like really the specificity of Blender. It's the object of Blender. It's Suzanne. So what we will do to make it more beautiful, we'll make a shade smooth here and go there and add a modifier, generate subdivision surface with 2 here like that. So we will learn over all of that after, but it's just to have a nice object to manage here and turn around, and I will show you how to make that. First of all, we have here into the 3D view here, we have the possibility by just click and drag here the axis that you want here to turn around the object, okay? So here it's a kind of orientation here gizmo that will give you the different axes that you have in Blender. The x-axis is the red axis, the red axe. Here you have the same for the y in green and the z in blue, okay? You have the possibility, as I told you, to activate or deactivate these axes like that. By default, only the x and the y, it's here and it's enabled, and it's enough, I would say. Okay, so here it's the first thing. When you double click on an axis like that, it will give you here a full view. Like for example, here I'm in front view like that. If I click on X, I will be into the side view. If I click on negative Y, I will be here into the back view. Okay, same thing into the Z-axis, top view here, and again it will be the bottom view like you can see here. Okay, so very useful, and all of this it's possible to use it with shortcuts, and I really recommend you to use shortcuts to navigate into the 3D view. So first of all, the middle click, you turn around your object, okay, and then everything will be into the numpad. So numpad 1, it will be the front view. Numpad 3, it will be the side view into the right. Numpad 7, it will be the top view. And with the 3 here, you will have the possibility to have the main views like that. Because with control, if you add control to these 3 shortcuts, like control 1 here, you will have the back, so it will invert. Control 3 here, you will have the left, invert as well. Here, control 7, you will have the bottom view. So control 1, control 3, control 7, and 1, 3, and 7. Okay, so already you have things to manage with the numpad that are very important here. Okay, then you will have the possibility to make rotations with the numpad just with 2, 8, 4, and 6. Okay, so with the arrows like that, you will just manage your view every maybe 10 degrees or 15 degrees, I would say. And same with 8 and 2. So it will increment like that the rotation of your view, okay? Here we don't make any manipulation to the object, we just change our point of view, okay? And here it's the same. For example, if you have one view that you want to invert, you can use the 9 and it will invert the view, okay? So very good one as well. And that's it. So you can zoom in, zoom out with the scroll of the mouse, or use the control middle click to zoom without increment, okay? And when you want to use it by here without shortcut, you have the tool that is here. The end is to just move, okay, on a plan like this. So If you want to use the same here, you have the shift middle click with the shortcuts. Okay, shift middle click, it's the same that this one than this one. If you have a camera here, I will add a camera and make a shortcut like this to have here the right angle. So I have the camera here. If you have a camera into your view, into your 3D view, you can use the camera view like that. The camera view is 0 into Numpad, okay? If you have different cameras that you want one active or one that is not active, so for example, I will just make this and make RZ like that, okay? And I will use a control 0 for this one to have the view of this one. If I want the view of this one, I select this one and I make control 0, okay? So it can be interesting to change the camera views. You can see that when the camera is active, you have a little triangle that is black here, and this one is not active, so it's transparent. So it's only for cameras, this. And then you have here the perspective and the orthographic view. So this one is very important really because it's something that doesn't happen in real life. In real life, everything is in perspective because we have two eyes. So it will always give some perspective. So when you have some perspective, you will have these perspective lines like this that goes to a point that is somewhere there, okay? And you can see that it's not parallel. But if you use, and I will just remove this, if you use here the orthographic view, everything will be flat and parallel, okay? So it can be very interesting. So in what case we will use this orthographic view? I use it always for modeling, orthographic view, very often. And why I use it for modeling? Because when you model, usually you have you can have some images, references in the back of your file, for example, or behind the object. And you can see that if I put, for example, 2 or 3 Suzanne's here like that, okay? So you can imagine that you will have this one behind. When you are in front view, in here orthographic view, the one that is behind is exactly the same, okay? But if you use perspective mode, you can see that you will have something that is totally deformed here. So it will not have the same shape, it will not have the same size because of the perspective deformation view, okay? So be aware of that when you model with reference images. It's very important to only have the orthographic view. And this is the Numpad 5. Numpad 5 you can change, and from user perspective to user orthographic, here you can see that it's always written here. So this is very important to manage your views here. And everything is almost into the Numpad. So what you can use as well is the plus and the minus to zoom in, zoom out, but it's not really something that we will use often because we will have always the scroll of the mouse. And one that is more important than everything here and that I want to show you, it's this one. So I will duplicate a few Suzanne's here like that. And let's say I would like to focus on that one. So I could make here the drag with the hand tool, for example, and try to zoom in. But when I will turn around, it will, so I will have to make it again. And when I turn around, so it's not totally, and finally it's in the center. So a lot of things to make that, okay? Zoom in, zoom out, click and drag until you have the right view, and it's not really in the center of the view. As you can see, it's really difficult to manage by hand like that. So you have a shortcut for this. You select your object and you use the dot into the numpad, okay? So the one that is under the 3. So it will focus directly to your selection. So very important one. I select this one, I make a dot, and that's it. So it's really the focus into the object. So very important. It works with multiple selections. Like for example, let's say you have a group of Suzanne here. Okay. If I select the 3 Suzannes here and make a focus on these ones, so it will focus, it will make a kind of point between the 3 here, and I will have my selection like that into my frame. So very, very important. Like for example, if you have a Suzanne that is very far, very, very far, it will be very difficult to find it actually. So especially in perspective, you see it's there. I know where is it, but it's very far and sometimes it's difficult to find. So what I do usually, I select by here. And like this, I can come back there and use the focus. And now I have my object that is directly here. So you can select by with the outliner directly. And now you can just focus with your object with the numpad. So very important. If I take the first one, the one that is in the center, I come back to the center of my scene. So very important one. So this one, it's the most useful. It works even with other parts. Like for example, we will see the edit mode later. Okay, but in edit mode, I can select parts of the object, like for example, just this face. And if I make a focus into this object, when I zoom in, I'm not really where I want, okay? So I can select here into edit mode and make a focus into only that face. As you can see now, I turn around this face only. And it's very important to manage well your view. So when you want to go somewhere into your file and to focus around this point, make your selection well and use this dot under the 3 into the numpad view. It's the most important to navigate well. And like this, you will save a lot of time turning around your object with shift and manage it like that and say, oh, I'm not here. Oh, where is it? Oh, yeah, no, you just use that and it will work directly. Okay. So a very important one for the navigation and to well navigate into Blender. So that's it for the navigation. We will see the next chapter now. We will enter into chapter 2 and we will start to model. And for this, we will have to learn and to see the different mesh primitives that are in Blender. And we will see that into the next video.